The space station floated like a lonely shadow in the endless dark. Stars burned far away, but inside the station, silence filled the long metal halls. Only the sound of heavy machines, always humming. Always tired. In one corner of this massive place lived a girl who was not like the others. She was an alien. Her skin had a faint silver glow, her eyes large and bright, almost too bright for the dim halls. But her body was broken. One leg did not move as it should. A long scar cut across her side. She carried pain inside her body every day, and even more pain inside her heart. The others called her weak. The others called her useless. They never said her name with respect. When she moved through the halls, voices followed behind her. She is broken. She should not be here. She is nothing. The alien girl lowered her eyes, never answering. She had learned that silence hurt less than words. Her heart was heavy, but she did not cry. She had cried too much in the past, and now her tears had turned into stone inside her chest. Still, she dreamed. Sometimes she stood by the wide glass window of the station and looked at the stars. She dreamed of flying far away, away from those voices, away from their hate. But dreams were dangerous. Dreams made hope, and hope could break her even more. One day, when she stood by that same window, the alarm rang. A loud, sharp scream filled the station. Red lights flashed in every hall. The alien girl's heart jumped. She had heard this alarm before. It only meant one thing: attack. The station shook. Somewhere deep inside, something exploded. The ground under her feet trembled. Other aliens ran past her, their eyes wide with fear. None of them stopped to help her. None of them even looked at her. Move. Run, one shouted. She will slow us down, said another. They ran like waves, leaving her alone in the storm. She tried to move quickly, but her legs slowed her. The hall seemed longer, the red lights harsher. Smoke filled the air. She coughed, stumbling. Fear pressed heavy on her chest. Another explosion shook the wall, throwing her to the ground. Pain shot through her side. She could not get up fast enough. She whispered to herself, "Not like this. Please, not like this." Footsteps echoed. Not alien footsteps, different, heavier, steadier. She lifted her head and saw him. A human soldier, dressed in black armor, face half hidden by a helmet. He looked strange among the others, stronger, taller. His eyes met hers. For a moment, silence. He could leave her. He should leave her. Everyone else had. She was only a burden, broken and weak, but the human did not turn away. He moved closer. "Can you stand?" he asked, his voice firm but not cruel. Her mouth opened, but no sound came. She nodded weakly. She tried to rise, but her leg gave out. She fell again. Shame burned inside her chest. She expected him to walk away. Instead, the soldier bent down and lifted her. His armor was cold, but his grip was strong. He carried her like she mattered. Like her life was not useless. The girl stared at him, her bright eyes wide with disbelief. Why? Why would he save her when even her own people had left her behind? The alarms screamed louder. Another explosion rocked the hall. He looked at her again. "Stay awake," he ordered. "I'm not leaving you here." Her heart trembled. No one had ever said such words to her. Not once. Behind them, shadows moved. Enemy shapes filled the broken hall, weapons glowing. The human soldier raised his weapon with one hand, still holding her with the other. Fire flashed. The air shook with battle. The alien girl clung to him, her mind spinning. She had lived in silence, in rejection, in loneliness. But now, for the first time, someone had chosen her. Someone had carried her when everyone else threw her away. The station shook again. Smoke burned her lungs. But her heart beat with a strange new fire. Who was this human? Why had he saved her? The answer waited in the dark future. But one truth was clear already. Her life was about to change. The human soldier did not let go. Smoke wrapped around them, but he carried the alien girl through the broken halls. His steps were heavy, but steady, like he had done this 1,000 times before. She held on, silent. Her heart was racing faster than the alarms. Every breath reminded her of the pain in her body, but something else was stronger than pain: confusion. Why was he helping her? Why would a stranger, a human of all people, choose to save the one everyone else rejected? The halls trembled again. Sparks rained from the ceiling. He stopped near a corner where the metal wall had split open. Beyond the crack, the black of space stretched forever. Stars burned cold and distant. She shivered. One wrong step, and both of them could fall into nothingness. The soldier pressed his back against the wall, keeping her safe. His weapon was ready in one hand, her fragile body in the other. He did not speak much. Only his breathing filled the silence between the thunder of battle. Finally, he lowered her onto a piece of fallen metal just for a moment. His eyes, sharp and dark, studied her. "You should not be here alone," he said. Her voice was small. I was left." The words tasted bitter. She did not want to say them, but they escaped anyway. She had been left behind all her life. The human's eyes narrowed. "Left by your own people." She nodded slowly. Her head bowed as shame wrapped around her. She waited for him to laugh, to agree with the others, to say she was useless, but he did not. He only looked at her with something she had never seen before. "Respect. Then they are fools," he said simply. The words hit her like light in darkness. She blinked, unsure if she had heard right. Respect for her. No one had spoken like that in years. She wanted to ask him why. Why did he not see her as broken? Why did he not turn away like everyone else? But before she could speak, sound broke the air, metal feet clanging against the floor. Enemies. The soldier moved fast. He pulled her close, pushed her behind a pile of broken panels, and aimed his weapon. Shots of blue fire cut through the smoke. The hall became a storm of sound. The girl covered her ears, her heart pounding, but through the chaos she saw him. He fought with precision. Every movement had purpose. He never wasted a shot. He stood like a wall between her and death itself. And then, in one small moment, she saw something else. One enemy had moved too fast. The soldier did not see him yet. The alien girl's body trembled, but deep inside, something stirred. A voice, quiet but clear, rose within her mind. "Move him? Warn him now," she gasped. She had felt this before, this strange gift, this warning from inside. But she had always been afraid to speak of it. Her people had punished her for being different. They called her cursed. Now the choice burned in front of her. Stay silent, stay safe. Or speak and maybe save him. Her lips moved before fear could stop her. "Behind you?" She shouted. The soldier spun. His weapon fired. The enemy fell. Smoke swallowed the body. Silence returned for a heartbeat. He looked back at her, surprise in his eyes. "You saw that before I did?" She froze, her breath shaking. I felt it." His gaze held her for a long moment. No anger, no fear. Only curiosity. Then, slowly, a small smile touched his lips. "Good. Then you're not weak at all." Her chest tightened. No one had ever said such words to her. For the first time in forever, she felt something warm inside, something close to pride. The soldier offered his hand. "Come, stay close to me." We will get out together." Her silver eyes shimmered. She placed her hand in his. His grip was firm, steady, unshakable. They moved again, side by side this time. She was slower, yes, but he adjusted his steps. He never rushed ahead, never left her behind. The halls were broken, filled with shadows and fire, but inside her heart, something new was growing. Trust. For years, she had lived in silence and rejection. But now, a stranger and enemy species walked beside her, carried her, protected her, and called her strong. The bond had begun, and it would change both of their destinies forever. The long halls of the station were calmer now, but not safe. Smoke still crawled like ghosts through the broken air vents. Somewhere far away, alarms cried like dying stars. The human soldier and the alien girl had found a small, quiet chamber, once a storage room. He pushed the door shut behind them and set his weapon down. Finally, allowing his breath to slow, the girl sat on the cold floor, her body weak, but her mind restless. Her silver eyes studied him. Every second she spent with this human was strange. No one had ever stood beside her like this. No one had ever defended her. For a while, they said nothing. Silence stretched between them. The only sound was the soft hum of the emergency lights above Dot. At last, he spoke. "You saved me back there." Her head lifted, surprised. "Me? Yes. You warned me before the enemy struck. I didn't see him. But you did." His eyes narrowed. "How?" Her chest tightened. She looked away. Shadows from the broken light painted the scar across her side. She wanted to stay silent, as she always had. Her people had punished her every time she admitted what she could do. To them, her visions were not gifts. They were shame, a mark of weakness. But the human's voice was steady, not cruel. "Tell me. I want to know." Her lips trembled. She whispered, I feel things. Before they happen, he tilted his head, listening. She pressed her hand against her chest. "It's like a whisper inside me. A warning. Sometimes it shows me danger. Sometimes, even faces I don't know yet." The human's eyes sharpened. Not fear, not disgust, interest. "A kind of sight," he said softly. She nodded, hesitating. "But my people hate it. They call it cursed. They said no soldier, no leader should have such a broken gift. They rejected me." Her words cracked, spilling out years of buried pain. "Once I was part of a proud family. My mother led fleets. My father commanded worlds. They wanted me to be strong like them. But then, the war came." Her voice grew quiet, almost too soft to hear. "I was caught in the blast of an enemy weapon. My leg never healed. My side burned with scars. And then, the visions began. At first, I thought they were dreams. But they grew stronger, too strong." Her hands shook as she remembered. "I warned them once. I said danger was coming. They ignored me. And when it came true, they did not thank me. They feared me more. They called me broken. They called me cursed. They cast me out." Silence filled the room again. The girl's eyes dropped to the floor. She hated her story. She hated the weakness in it. But the human soldier did not move away. He leaned closer, his gaze never leaving hers. His voice, calm and deep, broke through her shame. "Listen to me," he said. "What you have is not a curse. It's power. Power that saved me. Power that could save many more." Her breath caught. "You believe that?" "Yes." His tone was firm. "Your people were blind. They feared what they could not understand. But I do not fear it. I trust it." Her heart thumped in her chest. No one had ever said those words to her. For so long, her visions had been a chain, heavy and cruel. But in his voice, they became something else. A weapon. A gift. Tears touched her eyes, but she held them back. She would not cry, not here. But inside, something cracked open. For the first time, she felt the faint light of hope. The soldier stood, checking his weapon again. His eyes scanned the shadows. They will come again. The enemy is not finished. He looked back at her. But now I know something they don't. I'm not fighting alone. The girl froze. The words wrapped around her like armor. Not alone. Could it be true? Could she finally be more than a shadow, more than a burden? She rose slowly, her injured leg weak, but her spirit stronger than before. She faced him, her silver eyes glowing faintly in the dark. Then, I will fight with you. For a moment, his face softened. He gave a small nod, almost like respect, almost like friendship. The bond between them deepened, not just of survival, but of truth. Secrets had been shared. Pain had been revealed. And in that pain, they had found strength together. Outside the walls of the chamber, the enemy gathered again. But inside, a new alliance had been born, one between a soldier of Earth and a broken alien girl who was no longer afraid of her gift. And, though neither of them could see it, the station was dying. Smoke filled the upper decks, and fire crawled along the broken wires. The human soldier knew they could not hide forever. Supplies were running low, and the enemy was searching every hall. If they stayed in one place, they would be found. So he made a choice. We need food, water, weapons. There's an old storage bay near the lower decks. We'll search it. The alien girl's heart tightened. The lower decks were dangerous. Dark, empty, filled with machines that had not worked for years. Her people avoided them, saying ghosts lived in the walls. But she saw no fear in the soldier's eyes. Only calm determination. She took a slow breath and nodded. I'll go with you. The soldier adjusted his weapon and helped her stand. They moved carefully, side by side, through the twisting halls. The lights above flickered weakly, leaving long shadows. Every step echoed. Every sound seemed louder than it should. When they reached the lower decks, the air grew colder. The doors hissed open, revealing a vast chamber filled with silent machines and broken crates. Dust floated like tiny stars in the dim light. The girl's silver eyes scanned the room. It feels wrong, she whispered. The human soldier raised his weapon. Stay close. They stepped inside. At first, the room seemed empty. But then the ground shook. A metal clang echoed through the bay. One of the old machines stirred. It rose from the shadows, a tall guardian drone, its body covered in rust, but its eyes glowing red with power. The girl froze. Her heart leaped into her throat. The machine locked onto them, weapons unfolding from its arms. The soldier shouted, "Run!" He pulled her behind a crate as the drone fired. Sparks exploded around them, the air filled with the hiss of burning metal. The girl trembled. But the whisper inside her stirred again. That strange gift that cursed her people hated was speaking. She closed her eyes for a second and felt it like waves of time brushing against her skin. She gasped. Left side. It will fire again from the left. The soldier did not question. He moved instantly, dragging her as the drone's weapon blasted the space they had just left. The crate shattered into pieces. He looked at her, eyes sharp. You saw that? She nodded quickly, breathless. Yes. He gave a small smile, even in danger. Then guide me. Her chest tightened. For the first time, someone trusted her gift. She swallowed her fear and nodded. The battle turned. She shouted warnings as visions struck her mind. Duck. Move forward. Right side now. And each time, the soldier obeyed. His shots were sharp, precise. Together, they dodged the drone's fire, step by step, moving closer at last. He slid across the floor, raised his weapon, and fired into the drone's chest. Sparks exploded. The machine shook, let out a high-pitched whine, and collapsed in a storm of broken metal. Silence returned to the bay. The girl's chest rose and fell quickly. Sweat beaded on her brow, but her eyes glowed brighter than before. For the first time, she had fought not by running, not by hiding, but by using the gift she had always feared. The soldier looked at her, breathing heavy but steady. "I could not have done it without you." Her throat tightened. The words wrapped around her heart like fire. She lowered her gaze, almost shy. "No. You protected me." He shook his head. "We protected each other." The girl blinked, her chest warm. Protected each other. That was new. That was something she had never known. They searched the wreckage and found what they needed: food packets, water, a few energy cells. But more than supplies, they found something greater. They had proven themselves not as one soldier and one broken outcast, but as partners. As they left the bay, the girl walked a little taller, her silver eyes no longer full of only sadness. She had been told her whole life that her gift was a curse, but today it had saved them both, and deep inside, she knew this was only the beginning, because something even darker was coming, and soon their bond would be tested again. The station was no longer silent. It shook with the sound of war. Explosions thundered across the metal walls. Lights flickered like dying stars. Alarms wailed endlessly, screaming fear into every corner. The alien girl and the human soldier had just returned from the lower decks, carrying supplies when the storm began. Enemy ships had surrounded the station. Their weapons tore through shields. Their soldiers poured inside like waves of fire. The girl limped beside him, her silver eyes wide. She could hear the voices of her own people shouting in panic. Doors slammed, orders were screamed, but nothing felt organized. The proud warriors who once mocked her now stumbled in fear. When they saw her, their voices rose again. "Why is she here? She only slows us down. Take her away before she curses us all." The words cut like knives. The girl lowered her head, shame pressing heavy on her shoulders. She had lived this moment too many times. Always rejected, always cast aside. But the human stepped in front of her, his weapon raised, his voice sharp. "She stays with me." The aliens froze, shocked by his tone. One of them spat on the ground. "You don't know her? She is broken. She brings only bad luck." The soldier's eyes narrowed. "She saved my life. More than once." The others laughed bitterly, as if his words were madness. But he did not waver. He stood like a wall between them and her, his armor scarred, his weapon steady. His loyalty burned brighter than their hatred. The girl's chest tightened. No one had ever defended her like this. She wanted to thank him, but the floor shook violently before she could speak. Another explosion ripped through the station. Dust and smoke poured from the ceiling. The enemy had breached the inner hall's positions. Someone shouted, "They're coming." The aliens scattered into defensive lines, weapons glowing. The soldier grabbed the girl's hand. "Stay close." Her heart raced. The whispers of her gift began to stir again. Shadows of danger brushed against her skin, cold and sharp. She saw Flashy's enemy soldiers moving through smoke, fire bursting, screams filling the air. Her breath shook. "They're near. Many of them." He glanced at her. "Then we'll be ready." The first wave came. Black-armored figures stormed through the halls, weapons blazing. The air exploded with sound. Beams of energy tore into the walls. Sparks filled the corridors like burning rain. The aliens fought fiercely, but fear cracked their lines. Some fell back, others fired wildly, missing their targets. The girl's people, who once called themselves strong, now wavered under the enemy's strength. The soldier, however, stood firm. His weapon roared, each shot precise, each movement controlled. He did not fight for glory. He fought to protect. To protect her, the girl crouched beside him, trembling. Her vision stabbed at her mind, flashing faster than ever. She saw one enemy rushing from the left, another hidden above, another about to strike from behind. Her voice broke through the chaos. Left side, above you, behind now. The soldier moved with her words, striking down enemies before they even reached him. Step by step, they fought as one, human and alien, soldier and outcast. But not everyone was blind to it. The other aliens began to notice. They saw how his strength and her visions worked together. They saw how many enemies fell because of her warnings, and yet not all accepted it. One alien leader shouted angrily, "Do not listen to her. She will betray us all." The girl's heart sank. Even now, even as she saved their lives, they refused to believe in her. For a moment, doubt filled her chest. Maybe they were right. Maybe she did not belong here. Maybe she was only a curse after all. But then she felt his hand on her shoulder. The soldier leaned close, his voice steady, unshakable. "Don't listen to them. I trust you. Stay with me." Her silver eyes shimmered. His words cut through the storm of fear. Trust. He trusted her. That was enough. Another wave of enemies broke through. The soldier rose to meet them, and this time the girl rose with him. She shouted warnings, guiding him through the storm. And little by little, the tide began to turn. But the battle was far from over. The enemy was stronger, faster, endless. And in the smoke and fire, something darker stirred, a power greater than any drone, greater than any soldier. The girl felt it before she saw it, a heavy shadow pressing against her mind. Her gift whispered one word: danger. The true enemy was coming, and this time, their bond would be. The station shook like a dying beast. Enemy ships circled outside, firing blasts that tore through the walls. Inside, chaos spread like fire. Soldiers shouted, alarms screamed. Smoke filled every corridor. In the middle of it stood the alien girl. Her chest rose and fell quickly, fear clawing at her ribs. Around her, her people, the same ones who had rejected her, rushed to defend the station. But their eyes still turned cold when they saw her. "Stay back," one shouted. "She will only slow us down," another spat. Her heart ached. Even now, when death was at their door, they saw her only as a burden. She wanted to turn away, to hide in the shadows as she always had. But then she looked at him, the human soldier. He stood firm, weapon in hand, his eyes steady on hers. There was no doubt in his gaze, no hate, no fear, only trust. "You are not weak," he said, his voice cutting through the storm. "I need you. They need you, even if they don't see it yet." Her breath trembled. Could it be true? Could she really stand among them, not as a shadow, but as a fighter? The enemy breached the walls. Figures in dark armor poured into the chamber, weapons glowing. Fire erupted, explosions tore through the floor. Screams filled the air, and then it came, the whisper inside her. That strange voice, that warning she had tried to bury all her life. But now it was not a whisper. It was a roar. Her eyes widened. She could see everything: where the enemy would move, where the blasts would strike, where the soldiers around her would fall if she did nothing. Her body shook. Her heart screamed. But this time, she did not stay silent. She raised her voice. "Left flank now." The human soldier obeyed instantly, spinning and firing. His shot hit true, taking down the enemy before they could fire. The others froze. Their eyes turned to her, Another vision struck. A flash of light in her mind. She shouted again. "Cover the wall. Shields up." Confused but desperate, the soldiers obeyed. And when the enemy's blast came, the shields caught it. Saving dozens of lives, gasps filled the chamber. The alien girl's silver eyes glowed brighter than ever. She stepped forward, no longer trembling. Her voice grew strong, sharp, commanding. "There, behind the smoke. Now, move." Every word she spoke guided them. Every order saved lives. The battle shifted. The hopeless defense turned into a coordinated strike. The humans and aliens fought together, following her visions. And the enemy, once unstoppable, began to falter. The same people who had rejected her now stared with shock, their doubt breaking with every command she gave. But she did not fight for their respect. She fought for the human soldier who had believed in her first. She fought for the bond they had built, for the promise that she was not useless, not cursed. The enemy commander pushed through the chaos, a towering figure in black armor. His weapon glowed like fire. He aimed at the human soldier, ready to strike. Her heart stopped. The vision came again, clear, sharp, unavoidable. If she stayed silent, the soldier would fall. But not this time. Her voice cut through the battle like thunder. Now, she leaped forward, her body weak, but her spirit blazing. She pushed the soldier aside just as the blast hit. Pain seared through her arm, but she did not fall. She lifted her head, eyes blazing silver. The enemy commander hesitated. For the first time, he looked uncertain, and in that heartbeat of hesitation, the soldier fired. The commander fell, his weapon clattering to the ground. Silence followed. The enemy began to retreat. The station still burned, but for now, they had survived. The alien girl collapsed to her knees, her body trembling with exhaustion. Around her, the others stared in awe. One whispered, "She saved us." Another said softly, "Perhaps." She is not cursed after all, but none of their voices mattered. What mattered was the soldier kneeling beside her, his hand steady on her shoulder. His voice was calm, proud. "I told you," he said. "You are not broken. You are the strongest of all." Her eyes filled with tears she could no longer hold back. For the first time, her gift was not a curse. It was her power. And now, everyone had seen it. The battle was over, but her journey was only beginning. The battle was over. The station floated in silence, scarred by fire and smoke. Broken walls drifted into space, glowing faintly in the light of distant stars. Inside, the halls were quiet, no more alarms, no more screams. Only the slow breath of survivors. Among them stood the alien girl. Her body was weak, her arm burned from the fight, but her spirit was stronger than it had ever been. She had done what no one believed she could. She had saved them. Around her, voices rose. She guided us. She saw the danger before it came. She saved our lives. The same people who once spat at her name now spoke it with awe. Some even bowed their heads as if shame burned in them. But her eyes did not rest on them. She was not looking for their respect. She was looking at the human soldier. He stood nearby, calm, watching her with the same steady gaze he had from the beginning. He did not bow. He did not speak praise. He simply looked at her as he always had, not as broken, not as cursed, but as someone worthy. The leader of her people stepped forward. His armor was cracked, his pride wounded, but his voice was still commanding. "You have proven yourself," he said. "You are not cursed. You are gifted. You belong with us. Return to your people. Lead us as you were born to do." A silence spread. All eyes turned to her. For the first time, they wanted her back. For the first time, they offered her a place among them. Her heart twisted. Once she would have given anything to hear those words. Once she would have begged to belong. But now it felt hollow because she remembered the nights of loneliness, the whispers of rejection, the way they had turned away when she needed them most. And she remembered something else, the human soldier's voice. I'm not leaving you. Here, I trust you. You are the strongest of all. Those words had lifted her when no one else cared. Those words had given her the courage to use her gift. Without him, she would still be a shadow. She lifted her silver eyes, glowing softly in the dark. Her voice was calm but strong. I am not going back. Gasps echoed through the survivors. The leader's eyes widened. What? You would refuse your people? She nodded slowly. Yes, because my people refused me first. My life was not saved by your respect. My life was saved by him. She turned toward the soldier, her voice steady. I choose my own path now. Not the path you forced on me. Not the curse you named me. My path. The soldier looked at her, silent. But in his eyes was something more than pride. Something deeper. The leader of her people tried again. You will leave us for a human. An outsider? She stood tall, her weak leg trembling, but her spirit unbroken. He was never an outsider to me. When the universe rejected me, he chose me. And I choose him. The hall grew silent. No one dared speak. The human soldier finally stepped forward, his hand reaching out, not commanding, not pulling, only offering. She placed her hand in his, and for the first time, it did not feel like weakness. It felt like freedom. Together, they walked through the ruined hall, past the stares of those who once despised her. She did not bow her head. She did not hide her scars. She walked tall, her silver glow brighter than ever. At the end of the hall, the stars awaited, endless, eternal. The soldier glanced at her. Where will we go? She looked out into the dark, her voice soft but full of fire. Anywhere, everywhere. The universe is wide. And I am not afraid anymore. The doors opened, revealing the cold beauty of space. Together, they stepped forward, and so. A rejected alien girl and a human soldier began their new journey not as enemies. Not as strangers, but as something stronger. A bond born from pain, tested by fire, and unbreakable. Her people had cast her away. But destiny had given her something greater, not a curse, not weakness, but a new beginning.